Hey friends, welcome to the Wonder Who channel. My name is Naja. Hope you're having a great day. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about my seed collection, and most notably seeds that I have come to love, and also just some feedback from me about them. And there are going to be some seeds that I showed that of crops that I'm familiar with, crops that I got on a whim, and I'll just tell you a few stories about some of the ones that I have grown to love. I want to just start with leafy greens, because leafy greens are what make me very happy as a gardener. I love growing lettuce. I love growing spinach, Swiss chard, all of those things. I prefer to grow in the fall, winter season, but there are some benefits to growing things in the summer as well. And I feel like I really have my legs underneath me when it comes to growing leafy greens and different types of brassicas, whereas I still need to learn more about growing in warm weather, in cucumbers, tomatoes, squash, and things like that. So you may come to notice that a lot of the ones that I love will come from that season versus the current season that we're in. So I'm just gonna pick them up because, look what I got here. This is probably 10% of my seed collection, and I think that's hilarious. But I am making decisions on certain seeds that I know I don't love, that I've tried, and deciding to give them away and find places where they can find a new home and a new steward to take care of them. First one I want to talk about is something I learned to grow this year inside, and it is a cucumber, quick snack cucumber. I just have to say that I am coming to learn to love this seed company. I have had a lot of success for me with this company seeds. I've grown the quick snack cucumber in the house inside one of these hydroponic gardens, and I did have success with that, and I've got a few cucumbers off of it. But then the weather turned warm and I needed to transplant that because it was growing up the blinds and I had trellising and little bamboo stakes and everything on it. But I love it, and I transplanted it from hydroponic to soil, and it is doing very well outside. So I highly recommend this one. I am coming to understand, for me as a gardener, and that I am the person in my household that is the gardener, that I need to have varieties that are container, bush size, dwarf size. So these are Bolero carrots from Johnny's, and these are pelleted. And so I started some of these seeds at the beginning of this year, so the beginning of 2025. The growth of the carrots wasn't great, and I'm gonna put that on me because I still have trouble understanding root vegetables and fertilization. But I got the best harvest of my gardening life from this pack of seeds when it came to carrots. When I first started gardening, I really loved to buy stuff like colorful, stuff that I knew, but I didn't know of the other colorful varieties. I care about production over beauty. I need food to be able to put in the house and to preserve and things like that. So I have a whole container, a seed container of carrots, and I'm probably going to end up giving some of those away to like the library or something like that. So let me go through some greens. This is one that I love. Ford Hook Giant Swiss chard. I love Swiss chard. It is hard to find in the grocery stores. So when I started gardening, I knew this was going to be a vegetable that I was going to want to grow. It is at that point in my life that I can go outside and harvest a few of the leaves from multiple plants and have me a nice saute of Swiss chard, either for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I will say Swiss chard is a must-have for me, and I've had nothing but success. Any seeds that I bought from anywhere, I have been able to grow Swiss chard. So this was one that I tried last fall, and it is, like I said, a 4-hook giant Swiss chard. It is big and it tastes great, and I love to see the bigness about it. This is the first Swiss chard I ever bought, was the 5-color silver beet. The seed packet is now empty. And then this is something that I tried. My first gardening season was sorrel. So this is a green de Belleville sorrel. And it is delicious. It is lemony. It is tart. It is great in salads, and it is delicious cooked. I will let you know that when you cook sorrel, the green sorrel, it turns a yucky army green. It is not beautiful, but it tastes wonderful. That lemony taste is so good. And so because I love this, when it came time for me to buy some seeds from this particular seed company, because they were having end of season and selling seeds for 50% off, I got this, and this was prolific. This was beautiful, and it tasted wonderful. It had a little bit of earthiness to it, like a beet or something like that. So I don't know, because it was red, if that had anything to do with it, but it was still delicious. I did my final harvest of this a couple of weeks ago. We washed it, cut it, blanched it, and froze it. Now I still have some of this out in my garden. It is slowly producing, and I think it's because it's getting too hot for it. Now these two right here, I'm in love with. These were random purchases, again, from this company when they had seed sale at the end of last year. I'll start off with the upland cress. I love upland cress now. I got it because it was related to watercress. Watercress in the grocery store is expensive, but this is not necessarily watercress, but it is a good salad green, and it is also good to cook. It has a mustardy, arugula-like taste to it. Now this right here, friends, if you are like me and you love leafy greens and you want them all year round, and you live in zone 8A, one of these hot zones like I live in, the fact that I wanted spinach year round is the reason why I picked this up, because this is a warm weather crop. And it is a distant cousin of spinach. It is not a true spinach, but it is similar to texture and flavor. Y'all, I have 4 of these plants, and I harvest off of it pretty regularly, maybe once or twice a week. I love it. I love it. When it first was growing and it was like crawling all over the place in my green stalks, I was scared. I was still scared to try it. And so I had to get to the point where I was going to research it enough and chat GPT it up enough to go ahead and eat it. But it is prolific. It is prolific, and it is delicious. This is good like sauteed spinach, and this is good in salads. I love it. I highly recommend it, and I'm never going to go without it in my garden. This was really novelty for me because the strawberries, these are alpine strawberries, and so they are cold tolerant, and they are small. They're very adorable. But I grew from seeds successfully Yellow Wonder and Alexandria. So I have this currently out in my green stalks, and I've done a video showing these strawberries, right? The Alexandria, to me, not as successful because I'm really not getting anything off of that particular plant. But the rest of the ones in that tier are the Yellow Wonder, and they are prolific and delicious. And they're just the tiniest little strawberries. This one right here, this was fun to grow last year. I had some of this red noodle pole bean. Some of them grew to 21 inches long, like I measured them. And I think that is absolutely awesome. And when I chopped it and stir fried it, it kept its color. it dulled, but it didn't go completely green like a red burgundy bean would go. So this was fun to grow, and it is delicious, and it is in my garden again this year. And as long as I can grow it and have the trellising and the ability to grow, I will grow this. I want to talk about tomatoes, because tomatoes for summer 2023 were not my favorite. Like, I like all these kinds of tomatoes, but as far as me managing things, I cannot sustain growing indeterminate tomatoes. I've probably said it a million times, and I'm going to say it a million times more. So I am team no indeterminate. I got this from Jera's Garden. She's a content creator, and she is a plant nursery. But I got these seeds and I tried it in my hydroponic garden, and I got so many tomatoes off of that. It germinated quickly. It grew so fast that at a certain point at the beginning of this year, I had to remove all of the other plants that I had in the hydroponic garden and just let this grow. And I let it grow and kept it out there, kept it in there until it started getting warm. And I transplanted it from water to from hydroponic to soil, and it struggled. But it was already struggling in here because it was too big for the hydroponic garden. But I got a ton of tomatoes off of that. I got more tomatoes, I feel, in weight off of that dwarf, off of this Tiny Tim dwarf tomato that I got from all the tomatoes I grew last year. So I am team dwarf tomato. I do have some dwarf tomatoes that I am growing this year, and I'll let you know how those go because I may end up including them on my list going forward. Let me tell you, this is my girl right here. This is my girl. I'm gonna love her forever and ever from now on. Red giant mustard. All right, so my first fall gardening season, I grew red giant mustard because I love mustard greens. And so I grew them, but I grew them in the green stalk, and they got big and they were delicious. And I told myself when that season came to the close that I was always going to grow red giant mustard. And I only knew for it to grow to a certain size because it was in the green stalk, right? But fall of 2024, I put some of this in a round raised bed with some tender green mustard greens. And the tender green mustard greens served me well, but I harvested them and I left the 2 plants of the red mustard in there. And then one of the plants started acting like it was struggling. So I harvested it, ate it, delicious. And I left one of them in that planter, and that thing was gorgeous. And oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. But then it started getting hot, and I had to, like in March, and I had to maybe early April. It was starting to get hot in around early April, and I ended up harvesting it. But I documented that. I recorded that in my March garden tour, and I also made a short about it. So maybe you'll check those out. But this is I'm going to grow this every single season. It is a sublime tasting mustard green to me, but I like mustard greens. That's all I'm going to say. Something else that I love is crisp mint romaine. I try to experiment and grow in different types of mediums and environments. And I had saw a video where a content creation family would grow lettuce in those Dollar Tree plastic dish pans. And they grew lettuce indoors, had a setup like a grow light, shelving and all of that. And they grew lettuce indoors. I wanted to try this in particular because I knew that everybody in the household would like a romaine. You see how colorful that is? That is not photoshopped. This is what it looks like. It is beautiful. It is crisp. It doesn't taste like mint or anything like that, but it is a nice, crisp romaine. So stevia. I bought this seed because I really wanted to try stevia, and I got this from Amazon. And when I bought it from Amazon, and I think it is only like 35 seeds, and I got it from Amazon, it was about $4 or $5. And I think that's kind of pricey for these seeds. And then the germination rate is very low for stevia. I had a little success when I tried to germinate the very first time. I was able to get one plant probably out of 5 or 10 seeds. And then it got cold and I was uneducated about this and it died because it got cold. But I tried to grow some stevia in my hydroponic garden and I had success. I had 2 seeds germinate. I took one out, put it in soil, and it didn't make it. But the one that was in the hydroponic garden did great. And I recently took it outside and put it in my greenhouse, and I need to plant it. I probably need to propagate it. I also took the rest of these seeds and put it in a milk jug to simulate winter sowing, but it wasn't winter time. And I think I did that in February or March. And I have stevia plants, hands off. Like it was probably the last 20 seeds, and I think I got that I put in there, and I got I think I have 8 or 9 stevia plants. So I'm really excited about that. When I went to go look this up on Amazon, the seeds were like $10.99 now. So that's inflation. I don't know if it's I don't know. But I thought that was quite pricey. Now, I did order some stevia seeds from Johnny Seeds, just in case that method didn't work, because I wanted to have stevia in my garden. But because I've had success with this, I'm going to hold off on the Johnny Seeds stevia seeds. And those are pretty pricey. So I would say this is a great plant, but the germination is low and the seeds are expensive and you don't get very many seeds. But I do like the taste of fresh stevia. This is another one of those seeds from this company that I bought because seeds were on sale, 50% off. What interested me about it is that it had a cucumber taste. And y'all, it does. And it is prolific. I could not keep up with this plant. At some point, I would just cut it and throw it in my liquid fertilizer bucket. And so I can use it like if I'm making like chicken salad or tuna salad for my family, or if I'm making me like a vegan tuna or vegan chicken style salad, or even, a tofu egg salad, something like that. It is really tasty and it is good in salads. Calypso cilantro, it is supposed to be the slowest bolt of any cilantro variety. And I will say that is true. I had cilantro up until April. So lemon basil. This stuff is delicious. I had this in my hydroponic garden, but lemon basil is delicious. I highly recommend that you grow this variety. I made a tea out of it, and it was the most delightful lemony basil flavored tea. It was so good, and just a little bit of honey. So please try this. I really hope that you consider this. Lemon balm. This is the lemon balm I grew this last fall. And it is delicious. I really enjoy it. I have harvested off of the 2 plants that I have so much. Like I have a huge quart jar of lemon balm that's freeze dried to use. And the last time I harvested from it, I just freeze dried that, and I'm giving that away to family members because I'm like, I got too much of this, and this is so good that I cannot not share this with people. So I will have to say I made some lemon balm tea from some fresh lemon balm that I harvested one morning out the garden. But I tried some of this fresh and steeped it, and I had that with my meal, and like sleep descended on me hard, like within 30-45 minutes. And I gave into the sleep. And I woke up and I was like, what did I have to make me? I mean, I slept for 4 hours. I might have just been tired that day because I have occasions where I don't go to bed until 2, 3, or 4 in the morning. I'm not working right now, so sometimes I just stay up. But this does relax you in a good way. Now, this is something that I recently that I grew in my hydroponic garden, and I really enjoyed it, is lettuce leaf basil. It is, I think it is a Japanese basil, and it looks like huge. It looks just like it does in this picture. But I would take 2 or 3 of these leaves and put it on a pizza, and it's strong. It's a strong basil, but in a good way. But the texture after I had made a pizza with it and I was eating the pizza, the texture gave me meaty vibes. And then these are 2 medicinal plants. This one is mullein, and I have some very beautiful specimens of mullein. I first germinated mullein in the hydroponic garden, and I didn't know better last year. And it grew and it grew. So when it was competing with the Tiny Tim dwarf tomato, I just took that, transplanted it into soil inside my garage until it got warm outside. And then I also germinated some more because I was like, this is wonderful. This is priceless to have this. And then this is the comfrey seeds. So I've had, I would say, half and half success with these seeds. I know that, people buy comfrey with the root cuttings and things like that, but I just couldn't bear to pay the price for root cuttings of comfrey and shipping, and so I was like, let me go on the Amazon shop and let me see if I can get some seeds. And so I got these seeds from So Right Seeds, and I've had pretty decent success. And I know that I can then take those root cuttings and propagate more comfrey. But I also know from my experience that I can grow comfrey from seed. So I would say the germination success for me was probably like 60-70%. But so again, these are all seeds that I have had experience with. I consider myself a new gardener. I did not start gardening until April of 2023, and it was unplanned. It was a impulsive decision, and I'm so proud of how far I've come. And with the limited experience that I have as a gardener, I can confidently say that these have worked well for me, and I feel good about sharing these seeds types in the companies that I got them from. I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. This is just something where I wanted to share with you some of the success I've had. So what I've done is I've created a list on my blog, wwwonderwwho.com, and I've made a page available to look at that list of seeds, and it has links to the pages, the exact page of the seed type of the site that I got it from. And so I'm not affiliated with any of those companies. I'm a small creator, but I feel like knowledge is power, and sharing information is a great thing. I don't like to withhold information. If it is something that I've had a good experience with, I want to give people the information. So if you go over to my blog, www.wonderwho.com, you'll see a blog post where I talked about a lot of my experience and why I consider some seeds like bangers for me. But then it also in that blog post has a link to the page on my blog site where you can take a look at all of the seeds that I really enjoy. Now, I know a lot of creators, like if they talk about seeds in their videos, they'll give you the links to those seeds. You have to go back and find the video and find the link to that particular seed or try to remember, right? So I wanted to do something a little bit different and to have that one page with all the hyperlinks. And I'm going to consider that page as a living document. So as I have additional good experiences with certain seeds, I'm going to add to that page. So it'd be important for you to, refer back to it and bookmark it. And I also welcome you to subscribe to my blog. If you, friends, have any seeds that you have come to love and they are must-haves in your garden, please leave comments below with the seeds so that everybody else can know about that and also so that I can be informed and learn about it. I don't have a lot of experience with flowers, but I'm going to get there. And some things that I think are very important when considering purchasing seeds, I think every new gardener will do what I did. Like they want to get seeds from everywhere and try everybody's seeds. And they, I don't know if people are caring about beauty and color and variety like I was, but that was important to me my very first attempt at gardening in 2023. But what I care about now is I care about, is it going to produce a consistent crop for my family? Now I don't have a problem with hybrids because I understand that. And I understand that hybrids help me as a gardener not have to deal with so many diseases and issues. That's great for me because, again, I am the sole individual in my household that maintains gardens. So I have garden in the backyard. I have this hydroponic garden. I have a garden on the front with some window boxes. And so I maintain all of that. And so I got to have the stuff that's going to work well for me and for my abilities and the time that I can dedicate to it. Also, what's important to me is knowing what varieties growth habits are. And then another thing that is important to me is the quality of the seed and the reputation of the company. All right, friends, in the comments below, please let me know what your favorite seed types are. I'll see you again soon in the next video. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching today's video. I really appreciate you being here. Please remember if you have any questions or comments to leave them below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also remember to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I post a video. I hope today is the goodest of your good days and may everything fall into place for you. Thank you, friends, and I'll see you again next time.